How to create a basic 3D main menu with camera transitions. This video can also be considered a part 2 of my switching cameras video. You want to make sure you don't spawn your character when playing. This can be done by changing the game mode, or just setting your current game mode's pawn to none. Also, make sure that the controller class is player controller. The first way to add a camera is using the Place Actor feature. This is a bit limited, as I will show you later. But for the time being, let's go with this. Place and rotate it to match your needs. Then we need to possess this camera. I'll uncheck this to remove the black sides. Also set Show Mouse Cursor to True. Create a new blueprint class. Make sure that the text you add is parented to the cube. Do the same for the rest. To create 3D text, we can use Blender. Press Tab to go into edit mode and change the text. Press this green icon to edit. In the Geometry tab, there's all sorts of things we can do. Once you're happy, export as FBX. To make sure we can use the mouse, enable input. We can trace using the mouse cursor to interact with this class. We'll check if the trace hit equals the cube we want to affect. Here we're going to make an event that will flip-flop between being selected and unselected. We start closed here to make sure we can't unselect it before selecting it. The move component 2 moves relative to the component's current location, so we need to add the z value to the node. Repeat for the others. The other nodes must match their current cubes. This step is optional. It will allow us to make the 3D text lighten up when selected. Create a dynamic material instance and set the parameter value as you wish. To create the clicking system, we can just set a number to change based on what we've selected. Also, create a Boolean to avoid clicking anything when transitioning. On exit, you would usually ask the user if they're sure they want to exit, but I'll just quit directly. Check if we're transitioning. Set the number to 0 if we are. Then you can set the correct number here. We also need to set the number to be 0 if nothing is currently selected. You might think that we could just set it here, but that won't work. You can also add other interactive stuff. I have this gear that I got from Blender. Create a new blueprint. Here we can do the same flip-flop that we did earlier. Get the actor class and call the event. Oops, this is actually wrong. Let's move over to the camera transitions. The first thing you can do is to create a new camera blueprint. Then we can switch to that camera. The second way is to manually move the camera. To do this, however, the camera should be a blueprint. This is the limitation I mentioned earlier, so I'll just replace it with the BP we just made. Then you can add a move component too. Set the position and time as you wish. You'll notice that it's more fluid. There is, however, a third way we can do it. We can create an animation for the camera. From here, you can just keyframe the position and rotation. Then you move the timeline and the camera and keyframe again until you're happy. Then we just play the animation. You can always adjust the timing of the animation by moving the keyframes. The camera is going inside the bridge. I can go to that section of the animation and add new keyframes. Not the smoothest animation, but you get the idea. Also, make sure to move the timeline to 0 when playing your game. The animation returns back to its start. To prevent this, we can open this and change this setting. Now let's add a 3D widget. So this is my options widget. Nothing special. Create a new blueprint for it. Add the widget. I like to set the draw size to 1920 by 1080. Position it accordingly. Add a widget interaction component. I like to set interaction size very high, so this is sort of the official way to do it. Set source to mouse. To enable input for this widget, enable it on begin play. The delay is optional, and just to make sure that the transition is almost complete before enabling it. Add these pointer nodes. To make the input work correctly, we'll have to spawn it. Create a transform variable, or location and rotation. Disable input here. So this will work to some extent, but you'll notice that the mouse detection is terrible. This is even worse if you decide to angle the widget. So I'm going to show you a better way to do it. Copy the hit result we made in the beginning. Change interaction source to custom. Add a set custom hit result and connect it like this. And now the detection is perfect. To transition back to the main menu, you can play the animation in reverse. Get the main menu cube actor and turn off the transitioning var. And enable input. Finally, destroy the Widget Blueprint class. You may notice a delay before the animation starts. On the level select, I won't do anything fancy. Here it's even easier to transition back. You could technically add a camera inside the main menu class and just move it from there. We're pretty much done now. There's just some bugs to fix. The first thing we need to do is to reset all the selections when transitioning. If you are using 3D letters, make sure to turn off collision. Otherwise, this will happen. You can also change the color and brightness of the material when clicking.